Busch in 5th and trying to hang on to that spot. If he stays there, he wins the title. Checkered flag is up. Greg Biffle wins the Ford 400 at the Homestead Miami.
Kurt Busch just sent a message to 23XI Racing that nobody saw coming, and the timing couldn't be more important. What he said changes everything we thought we knew about his relationship with the team during their biggest fight ever. Let's start with what happened. 23XI Racing just hit their 5-year mark in NASCAR. That's a big deal for any team, but especially for one owned by basketball legend Michael Jordan. And guess who showed up to celebrate? Kurt Busch. But he didn't just show up with a simple happy birthday message. He got real about what this team means to him. Busch posted on social media and opened up his heart. He said,
"Hey everyone at 2311, congratulations and happy 5th year anniversary. What an amazing journey in just such a short amount of time. But it was prideful for me to be able to help build that number 45 car from the beginning."
Now, that's nice, right? But wait, there's more. He thanked Michael Jordan, Curtis Polk, Steve Lauletta, and Denny Hamlin. Then he said something that got everyone's attention. He smiled and added,
Denny's the most important one. He's the one that called me and said, "I need you." And it's been an incredible journey to help that small part at the beginning and to create that winning culture. So congratulations on 5 years, everyone. Let's keep it going.
Those last 4 words matter more than you might think. Let's keep it going. Because right now, 23XI Racing is in the middle of the biggest legal fight NASCAR has seen in years. And Busch just told them he's still with them. That's huge support when they need it most. Here's the backstory. Kurt Busch joined 2031 back in 2020. He was the driver of the number 45 car from day one. He helped build this team from nothing. And he didn't just drive around in circles. He won at Kansas in 2022 and got 23XI into the playoffs for the first time ever. That victory was everything for a young team trying to prove itself. But then something terrible happened. On July 23rd, 2022, Busch crashed during practice at Pocono Raceway. He hit his head hard and got a concussion. His last race as a full-time driver was at New Hampshire. After that crash, he never raced full-time again. The injury was too serious. It ended his racing career just like that. Most drivers would have walked away completely. Not Kurt Busch. He stayed with 23XI as a mentor and consultant. Now he helps Bubba Wallace and Tyler Reddick get faster. He looks at data, gives advice, and shares everything he learned in 23 years of racing. He also works as a brand ambassador for Monster Energy, which sponsors 23XI Racing. But why does his message matter so much right now? Because 23XI Racing is fighting NASCAR in court, and the whole sport is watching. This isn't just any argument. This is a massive lawsuit that could change NASCAR forever. Here's what happened. NASCAR wanted all the teams to sign a new charter deal for 2025. Think of charters like guaranteed spots in every race plus money from TV deals. They're worth about $45 million each. That's serious money. But 23XI Racing and Front Row Motorsports looked at the deal and said no. They refused to sign. Why? Because they think NASCAR is playing unfair. They believe NASCAR controls too much. NASCAR owns 20 out of 38 racetracks. They control who supplies parts. They make all the rules. And according to 23XI and Front Row, NASCAR uses all this power to pay teams way less than they deserve. The teams say they can't even race in other series because NASCAR won't let them use their cars anywhere else. So they sued. Michael Jordan himself sat down with NASCAR's top boss, Jim France, to try and work things out. They talked about a huge $7.7 billion media deal that runs through 2031. But those talks went nowhere. Nobody could agree. Now they're heading to court. On October 23rd, 2025, both sides went to a courthouse in Charlotte for a big hearing. It lasted 3 hours. Jeffrey Kessler is the lawyer fighting for 23XI and Front Row. He's a big deal in sports law. When he walked out of that courthouse, he didn't hold back. He told reporters, "We think the law's on our side. We were delighted to get our day in court today. We think we made our case very well. We think the facts are on our side, and we have great confidence in Judge Bell." That's bold talk, but Kessler has some strong evidence backing him up. They found internal NASCAR documents called Project Gold Codes. These papers show that NASCAR made a secret plan in case the teams ever tried to boycott races. That doesn't look good for NASCAR. It makes it seem like they knew the teams were unhappy but kept pushing anyway. Judge Bell said he'll make some decisions within 2 weeks. If those decisions don't help, they're going to trial on December 1st, and that trial could flip NASCAR upside down. What happens if 23XI wins? NASCAR might have to sell some of their racetracks. They might have to let teams buy parts from different companies. They might have to let teams race their cars in other racing series. Basically, teams would get more freedom and more money. That's what Michael Jordan is fighting for. He said he's doing this for the betterment of the sport. But what if NASCAR wins? That's scary for small teams. Front Row Motorsports said they might go out of business if they don't have charters. Richard Childress, who owns another team, said, "Without charters, the team ownership model is unsustainable." Rick Hendrick, another big team owner, agreed. He said, "Without this framework in place, I question the long-term viability of the teams." Since 2016, the charter system has created over $1.5 billion in value for team owners. That's a lot of money that could disappear if NASCAR wins. Right now, teams get about 49 to 50% of the $1.1 billion NASCAR makes from TV deals every year. The teams say that's not enough. They want more, and they want it to be fair. And here's another twist. The Drivers' Advisory Council wants in on this fight. You know who helps run that council? Kurt Busch. He's one of the co-chairs along with Jeff Burton. On October 23rd, the judge said yes. The council can file something called an amicus brief. That's a fancy way of saying they can give their opinion to the court. The drivers are worried that any deal between NASCAR and the teams might hurt the drivers without anyone asking them first. This happened before back in 2016. The teams got more money from the charter system, but drivers' salaries actually went down. So now the drivers want to make sure their voices get heard too. This brings us back to Kurt Busch's message. He's not just supporting 23XI as a former driver, he's speaking up as someone who helped build that number. 45 car from nothing. He's there as a mentor to current drivers, and he's involved through the Drivers' Advisory Council. His voice carries weight in all these different ways. Think about what Michael Jordan saw in Kurt Busch from the very beginning. Busch said his favorite memory in all of NASCAR was when Jordan hired him. He described walking into a boardroom where Jordan was sitting with lawyers. The contract was already done. Busch asked why. Jordan looked at him and said, "We want you to develop this new team because we know you race from your heart." That's the same way I play basketball. Busch said he was blown away, and he should be. Michael Jordan, one of the greatest athletes ever, compared their competitive fire. That's the relationship they built. That's why Busch's support message means so much right now when 23XI is fighting their biggest battle. Kurt Busch retired officially on August 26, 2023. He made a video and said, "After 23 years behind the wheel and 45 years of living and breathing this dream, I'm officially announcing my retirement from NASCAR Cup Series competition." He won 34 Cup races, including the 2017 Daytona 500. He won the 2004 championship. He's going into the NASCAR Hall of Fame in 2026. The man has nothing left to prove. But he stuck around anyway. He stayed to help. And now, when 23XI needs people in their corner during this legal war, Kurt Busch is telling the world he's still part of this family.